All right. No, don't freak out. That's what I get for not putting in borderless. Ugh. Nothing like seeing pregnant Emmerich the first thing when I log in after a month. Some things never change. The internet just be what the internet be. Jesus. Alright, I do need to see... Can I do this and it still works? Okay, that's better. Because then I can click off to grab things without it freaking out every time. Okay. Do this. Do this. Grab this. Close this. Open this. Hey, Castrati, good to see you. All right, and then we need to just send out a quick alert that we've started, and then we're good to go. Oh my gosh, there's a ton of people playing Warhammer Online tonight. Good for them. Live now. Put this over here.
Joins the Red Host.
Get me some fresh water.
Wow, can't believe it's already been 2 years. Haven't been in the best of moods lately though since my cat passed away a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, Blue Tiger. Thank you for the 2 years of support. I really appreciate it. I'm so sorry to hear about your sweet kitty. If you'd like to talk about that at all, please feel free to. I'm sorry to hear that. My condolences. That's always super heartbreaking when you when you have to say goodbye to a pet. Okay. Yeah, if you want to share anything or chat about it, feel free to. What button am I? Okay, there we go. So what do we have? Things are getting serious. Okay, we do have a couple of dungeons we need to do. Into the Mists is... Oh boy. Oaths we swear. Reap what you sow. Coming into its own. With Deathbringer Awoken in your inventory. Do I have Deathbringer Awoken right now? No, I have regular Deathbringer. Oh no, I do have Deathbringer Awoken. Okay. So I do need to go see Geralt. God, I got so many little things going on. My brain is trying to remember stuff. Sotek playing at midnight? It's not midnight. It's getting close to midnight, but it's not quite there yet. Okay, well, let's do the things that are easy for me to remember, which is let's go knock out our dailies. So let's go do our little fairy imp friends. But trying to get just back into the groove of things. Can the lore of life make an oak tree give an apple fruit? That's actually a pretty interesting question. Generally speaking, the answer would be... so, it would take a different type of spell than normal. You wouldn't be able to do it with a standard spell. You would have to do something very, very complex to basically try and force a, in this case, a tree, to do something that it would not do naturally. As life magic traditionally tends to be more about causing natural things in the environment to progress through, you know, their various stages much faster. So like causing trees to bloom, or plants to bloom, or roots to move, or water to flow, for stone to grow, you know, to life magic you can almost think of as like earth magic in a lot of senses. But getting a tree to grow fruit that it doesn't naturally grow, it would be possible, but it would be difficult. It would be a that would be a tricky thing to pull off. That would be a fairly high, in my opinion, that would be a reasonably difficult, like high-ish level form of life magic. Okay. Which one is this? This one's raising a stink. While transparent, retrieve the ritual artifacts. So it's now you see me. Okay. San, thank you for the super chat. Let me move that like there. Once you finish up Warring Triad, Hildebrand, Heaven's Word, any last dungeons you start to work on? Yes, that is the general goal. Obviously, we still have little daily things that we're gonna knock out first. I think tonight we'll probably do some new dungeons. Will probably be the main thing we'll aim for. There we go. Yoink. How are y'all doing, though? Hopefully everyone's having an alright time as the weekend approaches. I'm quite looking forward to next weekend, because next weekend the Beastman book comes out, and we'll finally have finished all the core 9 arcane journals for Warhammer Old World, which will be very exciting because that will mean the time will finally come to be getting into new factions like Grand Cathay, because there's some, I'm not even gonna call them rumors, there are some objective, very blunt people talking about that, and video evidence of people having already received some of their Cathay books in the wild, or not books, but boxes. So it should be coming up pretty goddamn quick. Not who they seem. Throw bombs at suspicious objects. Okay. Sotek's playing at a time better use for sleeping. I mean, not for me personally. I tend to have a really difficult time playing in, or getting up in the mornings and, like, playing. For me, I just tend to feel better about it at night. Like, I'm trying to be better about being a morning person, because there are frustrating conflicts between, like, my nightlife and my day life, of that, because I live with my family and I enjoy spending time with them. You know, they really like to spend time together from, like, that 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. time frame, or 9 p.m. sometimes. And then I also have to take care of Sadie, so, you know, it's like Sadie's got to eat dinner and stuff, and she generally needs to, you know, have exercise. Carry the bomb, you have 50 seconds. Okay, cool. So it's like during the day, there's just a lot of things that need to get done. I don't remember what quest this is for. Place pumpkin bomb at the specified locations. Perilous pumpkins. Well, the problem is, it's not on my quest tracker. There it is. And I'm running out of time. I think this refreshes the timer. Yeah, okay.
You bring a token trinket to give to Throt. Yes, yes. Good, good. I accept your offering for Mulder Clan.
Scion of the Emperor donated 10 Australian dollars through Super Chat. If we are ever lucky enough to get Araby as a standalone new race in Warhammer 3, how likely is it they'll have the Law of Sand, or will they make a new LOM for them, do you think?
If I want to say they had the Lore of Sand back in the old days. If they ever got adapted, I imagine they would still get whatever lore they had. It would be reimagined. But you know, with like Kislev, we still got ice magic, and all that jazz. So I don't think that they would. I don't think they would like do anything dramatically different. Because the Lore of Sands would still make probably perfectly fine sense. For the direction they would likely want to go with Araby. Obviously, it's hard to say for sure, because, you know, it could be that if Creative Assembly was going to do Araby, which I would be super happy if they did. You know, obviously it'd have to be in collaboration with Games Workshop, and it would be that mixture. Like, I generally consider Araby and Games Workshop to be a dream team, because obviously Games Workshop owns the IP, so they have to be involved. But, you know, they have access to all the historical things that have been written in the past that could theoretically be salvaged and should be considered. Whereas Araby, having Creative Assembly help would make me feel much better about knowing that GW has someone working with them that is much more reliable when it comes to researching historical inspirations and separating like myth from history, but also doing it in like a well-researched way, and knowing what kinds of people they want to work with, what kind of experts they should go for, stuff like that. So it would be ideal for me if they work together on that. I think, like, CA, I would really want CA very heavily involved on any of the new races that GW brings to the fore, because, I mean, Cathay turned out so well, right? Like, Grand Cathay turned out amazing, and Creative Assembly played a really significant part of that. Yeah, funny enough, a lot of people don't know that the Jafar from Araby is not based on Aladdin Jafar. He's based on 1001 Arabian Nights Jafar, who is also the inspiration for Aladdin Jafar. But like, Games Workshop's Jafar for Araby actually predates the Disney one. Games Workshop made theirs first. That being said, yes, I do. I wouldn't put it past GW to have someone that's like, well, what if we took inspiration from that one? It's like, no, leave Disney out of it. Keep Disney as far away as possible. CA also developed Zaralid. Well, they helped with it. I think the only one I have left is Clearing the Air. Nope. I also have Podling Peril. Oop, too far. Nope. This one. Keeping Disney far away is why Malekith got renamed. Maybe. That one's a little hard to say. Like, I wouldn't put it past that being the original reason, but it also, I think, could be argued, like, Malekith was so well established by that point, I don't think there was any realistic threat. Though, to be fair, I am actually someone that thinks Malekith's name change is a good thing, because his new name, Malarian as his name, actually makes substantially more sense from, like, an in-universe perspective than Malekith does. Malekith was always a bit of a weird name for him. I have to carry it somewhere. Oh my god, I have to carry it all the way back there. Ugh. Like, Malarian makes his name much more consistent with his family's naming condition, or, like, traditions. And also, it makes a lot more sense. A lot of people hate it because people just don't like change. Which is, you know, understandable. A lot of people don't like change nowadays, especially because there's always the constant thing of people feeling like whenever something changes, it's always for some, like, absurd, ridiculous reason. I don't know if Games Workshop actually changed it to Malarian because they really didn't like, or they really just didn't want to risk it with Disney, because Disney owns Marvel and everything and all that jazz. But I also don't think that Disney/Marvel really has any super interesting or long-term plans with Malekith, their version of Malekith. but it's probably one of the biggest changes that, like, I initially didn't like it because it was different. I don't, you know, nobody just likes arbitrary change. But the more I sit and think about it, the more I'm like, it's a good change, to be honest. Like, I think Malarian is just a better name for the character. It makes more sense.
Good.
It's more elven.
I accept your offering for Mulder Clan.
And, like, it's more in line with what his father and mother would have actually named him.
I really hope GW will drop the stupid arbitrary barrier between WHFB and TOE. There's so much cool new stuff we should get in Warhammer 3, and frankly it's extra dumb because there's no similar separation between
40k and 30k. I mean, there is and isn't. Like, you know, they don't let you use your minis from one and the other very easily, if at all. But I concur that it's stupid and arbitrary. It's something that I'm going to be talking about in the coming weeks. Because I want to make a big presentation on it, but that means I have to make a PowerPoint so that it's like a really nicely organized set of coherent thoughts and not just like random gobbledygook. And that I can make like a really nice, reasonable argument that allows for good discussion instead of just being like fat random nerd yells at computer screen, which means it's gonna take time. You yell at the computer's camera? Actually, no, I don't. If you want to be super technical, hey, Gigi! How you doing, Gigi? Thanks for the raid. What are you doing? What were you up to? Do y'all know Gingivitis is like one of the coolest fucking people on the planet? Like, he's so badass and he's so awesome. And in a more important realistic thing, if you're like a fan of me at all, Gingy has been like one of the kindest, sweetest people to me among all VTubers, which is actually saying a lot because I've met a lot of nice VTubers and stuff, but Gingy's been a true bro for a hot minute now. If you haven't checked him out, you should. He does lots of cool horror games and stuff. And he makes you feel better about the term gingivitis instead of thinking of horrible gum disease. BA's cool. Flat and broke? No, it's not broken. I forgot to set it up again. Because I turn it off because I'm an idiot. Is it this? Nope, it's not that one. And of course, my dumbass, yes, I know, I'm fixing it right now. My stupid ass PC won't open it unless I do a very specific set of things. And it's very annoying, and I should just leave it open. I don't know why I'm not leaving. I should just leave it open. From now on, I'm just gonna leave it open. Like a smart boy. There, now it should work. I apologize that it wasn't. How far are we from finishing the Sylphs? That's a great question. We've got probably like 2 or 3 more things. 2 or 3 more runs, and we will have completely finished the Beast Tribes, other than like the final one. The final one they all combine. So we're almost done with the Beast Tribes. Let's go fund me and make Sotek a VTuber model. I mean, listen, if someone wants to give me a shitload of money, I can guarantee you that there are things happening in those quarters. But I can't say more than that right now. What was wrong with your PC before that caused it to crash? I don't fucking know. It must have been my driver. It had to have been my driver, because that's the only thing I changed. I rolled my NVIDIA driver back to like the one before, and I stopped having any crashes. So that must be what the problem was. But it's yeah. No, that's the itinerant. Where's my? He's not here. All right, let's go do our little daily hunts real quick. And then standing poses. And then I guess we could look into getting some dungeons done. Trying a new horror game wasn't super good, but we had fun. Oh, well, I mean, as long as you're having fun. Dude, Gigi, did you see all the shit that dropped today in Summer Games Fest? They showed off some wild horror games. Like, wild horror games. Like, oh my god. Like, the horror people are gonna be eating good this year and next year. Like, there was a couple where I was like, I am genuinely uncomfortable with the stuff that's being displayed on screen. It's giving me like the ugh. What was that one game called? Ill? Yeah, Ill was like, ugh. I don't like this at all. See, we had Ill. I don't know if you want me to like spoil anything or if you want me to just shut up and you can like watch it yourself. If you just want to watch it yourself, I'll shush. Where are the rest of these golds? There's one. No, you're good. Let's see. So what? It was.
Yes.
Ill looks pretty insane.
I accept your offering
we also had Resident Evil 9
Scion of the
or
Emperor
Requiem.
donated $10 through Super Chat. When you do get a tuber model, you should try collabing with Vexoria. Use the shared snake angle and try enlightening her to the wonders of Warhammer.
That is a very random pull. Vexoria. An idea like that would be fun, but that's a very that's a very poor excuse, I think, to walk up to a very large and successful creator and be like, "Do you want to talk to me? Do you want to hang out on stream?" We would probably need something a little stronger than that. Would be fun, but maybe let's, you know, maybe let's spend a little more time befriending and getting to know like other Warhammer creators and Warhammer VTuber creators before we start trying to like make new ones, you know? Let's work with what's already out there. Yeah, Silent Hill Elf. Yeah. Silent Hill Elf also looks pretty cool. Yeah, because the thing about like a lot of the really big creators out there, you know, God bless them, but it can be really difficult, even if you are 100% in your absolute heart. If you are 100% genuine and all you want to do is like do something with them that you think they would genuinely be into and that you would genuinely be into, even if you have all that going for you, it's still very difficult, because at the end of the day, they're very busy people with only so much time in their schedule, and most of the time they're planning to have their schedule very full. And if you don't have like a good reason to be chatting with them, you know, you're just some guy. And it comes off very clout chasey, which is not a good thing. Like it's a very tricky dance. Collaborations, in my experience, are are a delicate. It's a delicate performance to demonstrate that it's something that's mutually beneficial in some way, shape, or form, and it also is genuinely coming from a good place, and all that. It's not easy to do. Plus, you just don't want to be a bother, you know? Like, I've been bothered by people, and I don't ever want to be the guy that's bothering people, because that's no fun. But, you know, we'll get there. All things in good time, you know? All things in good time. Yeah, Gingy, in the advertisement for Ill, which looks fucking terrifying, there's a scene where, like, there's a hand that's been, like, chopped, like, this way, so, like, some of the fingers are completely detached, but it's still, like, moving. So, like, the hand's moving, and you can see all, like, the tendons and, like, the nasty gribbly bits that's, like, bleh, connecting the hand barely together, and they're twitching and moving, so those fingers are still moving. That skeeved me the fuck out. Like, I was like, oh, that's really gross. Like, that is super uncomfortable to look at. I hate it, but it made me think of you. It made me think of you in particular, Gingy. It was awful. Like, that was like a level of body horror that I'm not cool with. That was a little too visceral. The monsters look pretty cool too. You've wishlisted it? Okay, it sounds like it's up your alley then. Once I don't make any money off it. I'm just describing to you what I saw. I'm in no way, shape, or form profiting from that. I need one more. Come here. Sion, Klimo and Louis should be your someone you should look into for. Yeah, I've chatted with Lumi and Cleo in the past. They're both very, very wonderful people. Those are two individuals that I am very likely to do something with at some point. But there are some projects I would very much think I want to finish first. But those are that is on my to-do list, 100%. I enjoy their streams, and I've chatted with them in the past about, you know, doing something, and that is very likely an avenue we'll go down at some point. But we've got quite a bit of cleaning up around here we gotta do, and we're not doing jack shit till Offkai is over, because I've got to leave for Offkai, and that's gonna be like 5 days, because I'm arriving the day before and leaving the day after, so that's gonna be a 5-day thing. So we're not planning or doing diddly squat until that's over with. But yeah. But I think once Tides of Torment is like coming down the chute, like we know when it's coming out, we have like a good idea of all that stuff, that will probably be an ideal time to start reaching out to other content creators and start having discussions about that kind of stuff. That will be when we want to strike while the iron is hot, you know? You want to go real bad this year? I probably shouldn't be going, Gingy, I'll be honest. Like, between that and the trip to Scotland I just got back from, like, just a couple weeks ago, and then, well, Scotland and the UK, or, and England, and then fucking, and then my uncle passing away and having to go to a funeral down in Houston just a few days ago, to say that I am financially wounded is a grotesque understatement. I'm less financially wounded and more like I've been stabbed in the balls repeatedly by things that are aiming for my wallet. Since you're marked to the northwest. Okay. If I was a wise man, I probably would not go to Afkai. But to be fair, I also did not know some of these things were going to be occurring before I booked everything. Yeah, so we're working with what we got. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it, Gingy. That'll do it. There we go. All right, now we pop back to Redania, and we turn in our allied seals and see where we're sitting. Yeah, I do want to do a lot more collaboration work this year. Like, I want to introduce more people to Warhammer shenanigans and do some more fun things. And I think Tides of Torment is really going to be the time for us to strike. All right, so Loremaster. No, I'm just short. We need one more Alexandrite. So tomorrow, if we get some Final Fantasy in, which is very likely, we'll finally be done with this quest that I should never have done because it's completely optional and it doesn't give you anything of worth. It gives you a stupid teapot, and I don't even like tea. But the completionist in me wouldn't let it. Just had to do it. Just had to fucking do it. Okay. So let's go turn in some stuff. So we can go turn in Coming on Its Own. Because I think we're done with this.
Yes, yes. Good. I accept your offering
No?
for Mulder Clan.
Scion of the Emperor
I have
donated
Deathbringer
20
Awoken though, don't I?
Australian dollars through
Oh no, I
Super
need the
Chat.
merchant goods.
One day you should visit us down here in Australia. If you're ever in Melbourne, I'd be happy to show you some sights and maybe even drop in my local Warhammer store together. Also, you have to try eating kangaroo in some form.
I'd be down for all of that. I would be 100% down for all of that. The hard part is just that getting to Australia is that's a task. That is a task. Especially because like the usual methods by which I get to some far off places where, like, you know, a lot of the times it's you know, people are like, you know, I'll sometimes have like companies invite me out to things. Like, there ain't nobody in Australia that wants my goofy ass out there. So I would love to do that, but I'd probably have to pay for all of that out of pocket, and that is a long trip. That is expensive. I mean, that's probably like what, like a 14-hour flight or something insane like that. Like, I can't even imagine being on a plane for that long. I would definitely like to do it at some point. Like, I would love to come down and just spend a stupid amount of time checking out Australia, maybe New Zealand, and just like wander around and have a good time. So, okay, Deathbringer. I need the stuff for my weapon. Ooh, which I remember is a lot of very particular things. I already have this card. Okay. Oh, it's the like unidentifiable bone, unidentifiable ore. unidentifiable seeds, and I don't remember what the last one is. Unidentifiable shell. Okay, so I need one more shell, 3 more ore, and because there's 4 of them, I think. Maybe? I think I have this in my Discord. Like the particular bits that I'm missing. Oh God, who sent me this? No, 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 no. No. Nope. 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 No, it should be more reason than that. Oh God, I know somebody sent me everything and I don't know where I put it. Who was it? Who was it? My memory is really bad about this shit. Nope. 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 No. Maybe it was older than that. Holy shit. Oh my God, who was it? No. Well, I don't remember. So I guess I'll just Google it the old-fashioned way. Coming into its own. Final Fantasy. There we go. Let's see. Oh, that's right. It's got all this different shit going on. Let's see. Okay, so we need to go talk to Christiana and Mordona is what we need to do. That'll be the smart thing to check out real fast. That way I can at least know what I'm looking at. Oh. No, that's Sintana. Is it the chick that's upstairs? No. Rowena. No. There she is. Okay, so I need each one of these. Okay, so I still need one unidentifiable shell. I need 3 unidentifiable ore, 3 unidentifiable bone. I have all the dispelling arrows I need. I have all the adamantine Francesca I need. I have all the... Okay, so I have all these. Great. I have all of these. I just need 3 more bone, 1 more shell, and 3 more ore. Okay, now I just gotta remember who I can buy them from. Yeah, you could buy them for... Oh, you could buy them for allied seals? Oh, interesting. But you can also buy them for elegant tombstones. Okay. Okay, so we've got the catalyst. Now I just need the other 3 parts. But we can get those doing dungeons. So I think that's a good enough spot for us to say, hey, we need to do some dungeons today. So whatever you decide to visit, I'm sure I can find a way to assist you get over here, and at the least while you're down here, things won't be too expensive given the exchange rate between the US and Australia. Oh, good to know. That might be a good 2026 goal. That could be a good 2026 or 2027, I think. Idea. Alright, so why don't we aim to do some dungeons I haven't had the privilege to do yet. I don't think any of my old buddies are online. Oh, Alex is online. I'm just gonna... I assume they're busy, but I'll shoot them a message just to say hello. Oh, Kremlo sent me a bunch of music. That was very nice. I already have that one. I have that one. Okie dokie. I don't even remember what I got for some shit, but whatever. Alright, so... I do need to do... Oh no, you're all good. Fractal continuum is... something different. So this is Pharaoh Serious Hard. Into the Miss I need to turn in. Okay. Benefits of consultation is the whatever the hell the Scholasticate thing is. So we do need to do that because I don't even know what this is. Some kind of weird side thing. Promises kept is main story. Balance unto all is the Warring Triad. Oaths we swear. I don't even remember what Oaths we swear is about. Reap what you sow is the basic dungeon Never Reap, which I haven't done yet. And then Fires of Some All is Some All Hard. What is unidentified flying object? Give the Allegan weapon scrap to Slip 6. Okay, why don't I go do that? Because apparently that's done, so I might as well turn it in. Does anybody want to run dungeons? If anybody in chat wants to do some dungeons, we can absolutely do that. Well, I'm going to be doing that regardless. But if you want to come with me, feel free to. Alright, go Slip 6. Uplander find miscreation. Rip took part for Slipsix, yes? Yes, elegant weapon scrap. This is what Uplander Rip took from giant floaty thing and done scathe. Good Goddy in heaven! Slipsix eye catches some same stuff up before. This comes from elegant primal blasting whirly cog. But what is it doing on floaty rock and done scathe? This thing about to make Slipsix brain cuts pain throb. Wait, Uplander saw many void scent on floaty rock. Yes, maybe whirly cog mistakes void scent for primal and starts blasting. Slipsix must research this theory and research with fastness. Knowing truth may be uncovered gives Slipsix heart thumps and shivery shakes. And do not think that Slipsix has forgotten word bond. Return for the hand lending. Slipsix is happy to share shiny riches with Uplander. Take to Slimthix, and Slimthix will fancy craft treasure worthy of Uplander's sweat work. Slipsix hopes to count on Uplander again. Proto Ultima Heat Shielding. Okay. Interesting, that's a repeatable quest too. Who am I taking this to? Wait, what? Who am I taking this to? Oh, cool. Alex wants to do stuff. Oh, Slimthix. Here we go. Oh, you can get a piece of armor. Are any of these like must-haves?
Cursed Sotek spawn.
Loremaster, important news. It is finally happening. Final Fantasy Tactics is finally getting a re-release.
Oh.
I beg you, please review/try this game. It is my favorite game ever, and if you've never played it, I bet all my money and soul you will love it.
I've heard good things about Final Fantasy Tactics. I've heard good things about that. Cool. Awesome. All right. Well, I'll invite Alex, and we'll go do some dungeon hunting. All right. So why don't we start with Neverreap? That was quick. Well, it's exciting years, Lifelox, and thank you very much for the 17 months. Yeah, so this is the Vanu dungeon that was kind of like hiding off to the side. It actually was like quite easy to miss. Welcome to Neverreap. Take Thunder Eggs in hand, place Thunder Eggs altar in the hour, and winds will swirl and carry you deeper to be warm for great dangers await. Oh. Just gotta watch out for the tornadoes. it's a cool looking bird. The God Who Whispers. Okay.
You bring a token trinket to get to Throt. Yes, yes. Good, good. I accept your offering for Molder Clan.
Sign of the Emperor donated 20 Australian dollars through Super Chat. Let's do more if WHL comes over chat. Maybe on jobs. How would each job fit into Warhammer FFXIV? WHM feels like the right reason while Astro is a heavens caster. What would
what jobs would fit? White Mage feels like Life Wizard, while Astro is a Heavens caster. What would Dark Knight be? So like pick specific one, and we could like talk our way through like a order or idea. But like let's go through like a certain number at a time, or a certain one at a time, as opposed to just like all of them at once, because that's just gonna overwhelm. A Dark Knight would definitely, in my opinion, be a Knight of an Order. Like I could see a Dark Knight almost being like either a... I'm trying to think who would best represent the idea of someone like channeling all of like the bad things in themselves against an enemy. Honestly, probably the most sensible thing for a Dark Knight would be like a warrior priest or Templar, probably a Templar. I would say like a Templar of Sotek. Heals? Maybe? Thank you. Malekith for Dark Knight? I think that would be a reasonable idea, maybe? I mean, Malekith tends to be, nowadays, I would say Dark Knight would have been good for Malekith at a certain point in his life. I don't know if modern Malekith would be as much Dark Knight. Because he's become much more of a wizard-focused character than like a combat character, as he's gotten older. Honestly, if I was gonna pick like a Dark Knight character, I'd probably say like Talaris Dreadbringer would probably be more like a Dark Knight. Or like Malice Darkblade. I think Malice Darkblade would be a good Dark Knight. Ooh, cool helmet, dude. The totems! That looks bad. I don't know what to do with this. I guess we have to put them outside of the AoE. The clouds come and the skies darken. No, it cannot be. It's kind of a cool looking helmet. Yeah, Vlad von Karstein would make a good Dark Knight. I think most vampires would make pretty decent Dark Knights. Well, they're like big giraffe monsters.
Story about a white king that gets tired of the vampire lord questioning his tactics and decapitates the vampire lord. Is this just Tales lore, or could a white have disobeyed a vampire in old fantasy?
Hold on, I can't hear what that said over the sound of water. So let me get through this little fight here and I'll look at that. Whoa, dodge.
Let's hang out for 30 more, okay?
Hey, Calcifer, thank you for the 30 months, you sweet bean, you cutie patootie. Thank you so much. The cloud that laughs. Alright, here comes our boss. It's a whale snake. Who'd be a Pictomancer? The Changeling and the Blue Scribes. I think, like, Lord of Tzeentch would be very Pictomancer coded. Let's fucking dance! Kaboom! Chex Mixer. In the Soul Blight Boulder Tome that came out recently, which I realized I have not bought yet now that you mention it, there's a theory about a White King that gets tired of a Vampire Lord questioning his tactics and decapitates the Vampire Lord. Is that just AOS lore, or... Hold on, there are things happening. Hold on, let me get through this boss. This guy's like throwing shit all over the arena. Hey, Legends of Adventurous, what's up? What y'all doing? What you doing, lads? We're killing a boss right now, and we're just chilling and doing some dungeon stuff. Hello there, hello, hi. Thanks for the raids. Lovely to see you all. Thank you for joining us. We're just having a very, very chill Friday night. We're just chatting about like Warhammer stuff and playing some Final Fantasy and killing this big old fucking snake thing.
White face wolf shield. X1.
No, don't go invincible, you big bitch. Ah! Hopefully you're all doing well. I am very recently returned from a trip to the UK and Scotland where I was doing all sorts of stuff. Okay, there it goes. Big bitch. Hi, hello there. I'm Loremaster Sotek. If you've never seen or met me before, normally I'm doing Warhammer stuff like Total War Warhammer or just Warhammer Fantasy in general, Vermintide, all those kinds of things. I'm involved in the Warhammer community. I do a lot of the roleplay stuff, so Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 4th edition, but I played 2nd edition and older editions and stuff. I've also... I'm very heavily involved in Total War Warhammer, and have had the privilege to do some stuff and work with the guys over at Creative Assembly a few times, which has always been an absolute pleasure. But tonight we're just kind of hanging out and playing Final Fantasy XIV. I am what's known as a sprout, meaning that it's actually my first time playing through the game. We're almost to Stormblood, for those that know this game. I fairly recently finished Heavensward, and we're in a lot of the post-game, but I've been doing a lot of the side and extra content. And tonight we've just been kind of working through some dungeons and stuff. So if that sounds like fun or interesting to you, then feel free to join us. I just realized that I've been getting checks on my fucking Wondrous Tales journal, and I don't have a Wondrous Tales journal. So yeah, we're just hanging out and chilling. This is not like a super intense stream tonight. The thing I like about Final Fantasy is that it makes for an easy evening of just hanging out and having a lovely time just chatting and enjoying one another's company. So if you want to chat Warhammer or Final Fantasy, because I have learned quite a bit about this game, if either of those sound of interest to you, then you come to the right place. Thank you for the bits, by the way. Whiteface Wolf and Lefengil, thank you very much. And thanks for all the new follows, dudes. Okay, sorry. So Tex Mixer asks, in the Soulblight Battletome for Age of Sigmar, there's a story about a White King that gets tired of a Vampire Lord and he decapitates him. Is this just an Age of Sigmar, or could a White King disobey a vampire in fantasy? That could happen in fantasy. So in fantasy, when you're dealing with higher tier undead, right? So you have like your basic zombies, skeletons, slightly more sophisticated creatures. Once you get to the level of whites, you start to run into undead that have their own wills and their own motivations, would be a good way to put it. So your basic whites are not very realistically capable of like turning against like a vampire, for instance, but they could turn against like a necromancer. Now, when you get up to a White King or a White Lord, but like White Kings are fully capable of turning against whoever controls them. If that individual slips up in their compulsion of a White King, or is doing something that is like making a White King particularly pissed off, it is extremely possible for a White King to... They're so willful and they're so borderline alive at this point that they can absolutely turn on whoever is working with them and kill them. Because White Kings are not... White Kings are more similar to Tomb Kings than they are to other forms of undead, in the sense that so much of their soul has been preserved in their corpse that they still have their original personality, they still have their original will, they still have their original desires, and they are very close to still being a complete person, which means that they are much more clever and spooky than you may initially think just looking at them.
Wolf cheered. X100.
Thank you, White Voice Wolf, and thank you for the hype drink, guys. Really appreciate it.
Token trinket to give to Throt. Yes, yes. Good, good. I accept your offering for Molder Clan.
Scion of the Emperor donated 20 Australian dollars through Super Chat. As I've said, you need to start making connections with other FFXIV content creators so that hopefully you can be part of the promo and press tour of the 8.0 expansion, which we should see the announcement of soon after 7.
After 7.3? Yeah, trust me, I know. there are more people we need to chat with. This mount has 4 seats. You want to chill while waiting? Okay. Let me go. Okay, I'm gonna go turn in this quest while we're waiting for Fractal Continuum to pop. I think I have to turn it in. Yeah, up here. If someone wants to start reading Warhammer the Old World novels, okay, so Old World is technically different than Warhammer Fantasy, but not in a meaningful way, where the Old World is kind of like the prequel, you can almost think of, to Warhammer Fantasy. So Warhammer Fantasy is the original setting in the universe. The Old World is a very specific time within Warhammer, around the late 2200s and going into the early 2300s. What revolves around what we know as the Great War Against Chaos, which is kind of like the World War I of Warhammer Fantasy, or World War II probably more accurately, for how like big and dramatic it is. But if you're new to Warhammer Fantasy and you want to start reading about the universe, generally speaking, my advice is to start with Gotrek and Felix and just go through the entire series. Go through Gotrek and Felix and just keep going until you get to the end. There's a whole bunch of books and it introduces you to a bunch of different crazy things, and you'll learn a lot. If you want to know more about wait, what quest is this? I feel like I just started something. Okay, so this is the Churning Miss. Just the first time I've set foot in the Horde's stronghold. For the safety of the Holy See, we must needs ascertain the movements of the Horde now that Needhog no longer guides them. Hold that thought, I'll be back. Hold that thought. Anyway, so Gotrek and Felix is really good for like just kind of like a general invitation into the setting. If you want a very specified, if there's like a specific faction or race that you want to know more about, I can give you more focused recommendations. Gotrek and Felix is really good. If you want a human-centric introduction to the series that's more of a D&D type feel, more of like a ooh, it's like a party of actually, if you want like a Suicide Squad, a Marvel Suicide Squad feeling story, I would recommend the Blackhearts. The Blackhearts is super good and really, really fun. It's and it's got like a lot of fun things, and it gives you like a very human thing. Hold on, I do need to focus a little bit because I am the tank. So if I'm not paying attention, everybody dies. But those are generally my best guides. Now, if there's a particular race you want to know about, like you're like, oh, I want to learn more about the Skaven, or I want to learn more about the Lizardmen, or the Bretonnia, or one of those other ones, I can give you more like specific recommendations. But Gotrek and Felix is always my initial go-to recommend, especially because a significant amount of Gotrek and Felix is now on Audible. So you can actually get audiobooks versions if that's your preference. Most Warhammer Fantasy novels do not have audiobooks. They're just paper or PDFs that you can buy as like ebooks. But it's pretty rare nowadays that you will... unfortunately, a lot of the Warhammer Fantasy books have not been converted to audiobooks yet. But Gotrek and Felix has. Most of Gotrek and Felix. Lone Guard, have a good night! And Avantis, thank you guys again so much for the raid. Hope y'all are doing well. Sorry I couldn't be there this past Monday for Wolfrup. But I'm sure it was excellent. That's a big boy. We're only missing the Serpent Queen and the anthologies for Gotrek and Felix. Yeah, see, there you go. Ooh, okay. My man loves his AoEs. Holy shit. Get some more tank goodness going. If you could hurry up and die, that would be super cool. All right, there we go. They played Magic the Gathering last Monday? Oh, well good, then I didn't miss anything. I did hear Magic the Gathering's doing a Final Fantasy set. I believe it also has, I don't know if it's just Final Fantasy 14 or if it also has Final Fantasy 14. Are you actually into D&D or is your connection to Adventures through Warhammer? Both. So I initially became aware of the Legends of Evantris because I just saw their stuff on YouTube. So like their my YouTube shorts started recommending their stuff because I enjoy watching D&D content when I have the time, and this is where the Ixali were created. Really, it's super interesting. The next time we'll have to play through this dungeon with some like people we know, so we can actually like take our time. We're playing with randos, so I don't want to be like reading all of the lore stuff, and them being like, "Oh, hurry up, tank! What are you doing?" Rainbug, thank you so much for the 49 months. Holy shit! I was actually streaming one day, and the Adventures guys raided me. And I was like, wait, I know that. Like, I think we were doing Lorebeards, and Mike and them were nice enough to raid, and I was like, I recognize that name, and I like looked them up later, and I was like, holy shit, I know these guys, I love these guys. And then we started chatting, and it was super fun, and we started talking about Warhammer, because they were wanting to really get into Wolfram, and so we started talking a lot about it, and yeah, that's kind of all of it. I'm always looking for any opportunity to like introduce people to the world of Warhammer, and as they're getting into Warhammer, like guide them on any questions they have or along their journey through the setting. And yeah, they're awesome. I adore those guys. They're fantastic, and they're super kind, and they're very funny, and yeah, they're great. Kerplugget, thank you very much for the sub. I appreciate it. Hey, Hugh, good to see you. The D&D set is about all Final Fantasy, but it's got a lot of 14 in it. Oh, cool. Oh, the Minotaur. Woo. That do be a big boy. Rude? I don't think he can knock me off the stage, but it's making me nervous. Bro, can you chill with the knockbacks? Soon we'll have a Chimera Warhammer 3. Yeah, dude, oh dude, I'm so excited for the next DLC. Tides of Torment, I have really high hopes for it. I know it's taking longer than people would like, But no, come back! Don't step out of my AoE, you big bitch. Okay. Oh, interesting. Okay, so you have to like let free little critters to distract them. It's kind of a cool mechanic. Wonder if the Adventurous guys will ever fight a Warhammer Minotaur. That would be fun to watch them try and deal with. I mean, they managed to somehow survive a Jabberslite, so they must have something going for them, right? I'm glad to be home, though. As much as, like, oh my. This is very elaborate, but okay. As much as I really enjoyed my trip to Scotland, it was, twas a lot. And I am a homebody. I like being home. And I was gone for a long time by my standards. I was gone for a little over 2 weeks. It was very cool. I'm glad I did it. I got to see a lot of wonderful friends and other nice, wonderful things, but holy sweet Jeebus, was I ready to be home. And I don't even get to be home that long because I have to go to Offkai in like 2 weeks. The Allagans like to overcompensate? Yeah, they do. It looks cool though. Allagan tech is very awesome to look at. Alright, easy on the lasers there, buds. Alright, only one defensive protocol remains. They ran a nerf Jabberslite and fled at half health? Yeah, because it's the one from Madness of oh, I can't remember the name of the village, but yeah, it's not intended to be like a full fight of Jabberslite to the death boss. But to be fair, like the vast majority of the time in Wolfrup, you shouldn't be fighting the Jabberslite to the death because that's not how they would act. You know, they're animals, generally speaking. They're wild beasts that are motivated by staying alive and sating their hunger and yada yada yada. So most of the time you're not going to be fighting like any of them that are motivated to like fight to the death unless they're defending like an important artifact or they're like protecting or have been summoned by like a Bray Shaman or something. And even then, if you killed the Bray Shaman, the Jabberslite would run off. Oh, Andy didn't run the, he didn't run the madness effect? I don't, where do I go? Where'd everybody go? Oh, over here. Yeah, because it has an effect where, like, if you look at it or you're standing too close to it, it tests against like your will and a bunch of stuff. Unauthorized personnel detected. Initiating emergency reality augmentation protocol from the curator. Cool, it's like a fucking sphinx. I assume I don't want to be standing on that. Oh my. Big ugly bastard, ain't ya? I don't know what that is, but it doesn't look good. So I'm just gonna stay away from it. Looks like a mine. Hey, down he goes. The only madness was Richie got her to. Oh, the bile blood. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, Andy, hey man, Andy let them off easy. Yeah, because, Jabberslights, they have acid blood. They also have, gotta give the player commendation. They have the acid blood, and then they have the madness effect. And they also have, venomous claws, and then the tongue attack is really nasty. Alright, let me turn whatever quest this quest is in. So this is the churning mist. Just the first time I've set foot in the Horde's stronghold. For the safety of the Holy See, we must needs ascertain the movements of the Horde, now that Needhog no longer guides them. Nonetheless, this place fills me with a sense of unease. It's as if someone, or something, is watching us. Ah, 'tis best not to pay nervous fancies any mind. Dakarius, we shall begin our mission shortly. May it end without incident. I think this is a side quest series? Yes. I felt ill at ease since our arrival. It's as if something has been watching us. It would be best for us to remain here in case any dragon should lie in ambush, lest we alert them to our suspicions. Dalkarius, pray investigate the area for any signs of dragons lurking in the shadows. Oh, I think this is the fucking Moogle quest line. I'm fairly certain this is the Moogle questline, so I'm not going to bother with that right now. Where is the one? Refreak You So. Where's this one? Okay, this is the one I wanted to turn in. And then we're off to do some hard dungeons. We've got to do some all, and we've got to do Pharaoh Sirius. Netherlings wear the triumphant look of one who weathers the storm. You return from Neverreap with the Walkian scale, yes? This Sanu knows. Oh, someone wants to jump to the next dungeon? Awesome. Walkian scale, the rounded scale of a giant breed of Sanuwa known as Walkians. The Vanu have found their oval shape suited for the creation of tribal masks. Netherling bears the scale, and it is a mighty one indeed. Fashion a mask from this, and Zundu chief will command the authority of a furious storm of lightning. But that is not all the Netherling accomplishes. No. Netherling chases the cruel Vundu from Netherreap, returns halcyon winds to our sacred land. We Zundu are not like our cruel Vundu brothers. Gentle like a spring breeze, we welcome Netherlings with open wings. Sanu's heart is warmed by the gentle sunlight of your friendship. Promise us that you will remain a friend to the Zundu for many seasons to come. Hooray! Alright. By the way, if you're in the audience and you happen to play Final Fantasy XIV, whether you're new or a veteran, feel free to hit us up and join our Crosslink shell and hang out with us, because we're always happy to have more people to play with. All right, so let's go do Fractal Continuum's done. So let's go do Pharaoh's Sirius Hard.
You bring token trinket to give to Throt. Yes, yes. Good, good. I accept your offering for Molder Clan.
Scion of the Emperor donated $10 through Super Chat. After the dungeons I'd say finish off Warring Triad and then do some MSQ to put a dent into 3.0 Point 4, then
Well-
maybe some white mage leveling to finish off the night.
In my head, I count Warring Triad as dungeon. I think our big goal for tonight is get all the dungeons that we need to do over with. So Warring Triad, all the dungeon side quests, get those all over with tonight, and then we'll see where we're at time-wise. Thank you, Sion. Never touched a Final Fantasy game. I thought they were turn-based RPGs. I think it depends on the Final Fantasy game. Most of them are turn-based RPGs. Ooh, these are like weird looking. Yeah, but this one's a very, very interesting MMO because it's much more story driven. Most MMOs that I've played, it's more about like the experience of playing the MMO. You know, not necessarily the not the story per se, but it's more about like the grind or the dungeons or whatever. Final Fantasy XIV has been a very interesting experience because it's very, very story driven. Like it's a lot about like political intrigue and like sinister plots and trying to figure out what the hell's going on and working with like different groups and yada 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 yada. It's very fun. It's long. Like, I've been playing this game, granted, I don't play it every day, because I've got other things going on and yada yada yada, but I've been playing this game now, I think, for a year? Roughly, maybe a little over a year, and I am almost to the second expansion. So I finished the base game, I finished the first expansion, and now I'm going into the second expansion. But I've also been doing it much slower than is probably recommended because I've been doing a lot of the side content. Ooh, that's a cool looking creature. So I've done like a lot of like the side quests or crafting like legendary items that I don't need because they just look cool, and all that stuff. So I've done a lot of content that is not required to finish the game. It's just because I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I've been really enjoying it. Q, have a good night, dude. Hope you're doing okay. I will let them deal with the ad. Here we go. I like the Pharaoh series BGM. It's a nice BGM. I think I'm enjoying come on, you big bitch. It's overall, I enjoy it. I have mixed feelings about it. Some of the singing gets a little shrill for my liking. But overall, it's nice. It's not my personal favorite. Oh, there's fucking kobolds down here. That's interesting. This guy looks like fucking Nautilus from League of Legends. Oh, right, they're okay, yeah, they're drilling for the corrupted crystals. Okay. Goddamn kobolds! And they're goddamn drilling. I do like a confident healer. I wish, oh dude, Rift was so fun. I loved Rift. That had one of my favorite summon classes that's ever been in an MMO. The Necromancer was so fun. Like, I actually had a surprisingly good success rate with the summons in PvP. Like, you kind of had to micromanage them, but like being able to use the skeletons to like kill people in the PvP mode was so goddamn good. Felt awesome. Order Patriarch Begu. That is actually a really cool looking kobold boss. Got nice armor. If you could stop making shit fall from the ceiling, that'd be super cool. Headphones are resetting. I was like, oh god, where'd my audio go? This boss is busy. He's hopping all over the place. Down he goes. All right. I don't think I can go anywhere. Yeah, because Rift was where I migrated to after the Warhammer Fantasy MMO died. So I played Warhammer Online Age of Reckoning. And then I went to Rift. And then I stopped playing, and then Rift kind of started going a bit. And that's kind of when I stopped playing, that's when I kind of gave up on MMOs for a while. I do like the remix on the Pharaoh's theme in this dungeon. That is quite nice. An AOS MMO with the 4 factions would be pretty good. Yeah, that could be a pretty good one. All right, here's the final boss for this dungeon. What the hell? It's like a big chunkus version of the bum little dudes. He's so pudgy. Poor little guy, he's not supposed to put on that much weight. I'm assuming he's gonna split or something, because he's dying way too fast. Okay, we need to switch to AoE, I think. No, you don't need to get bigger. Oh. Mom mad. Hey, this feels more like it. Nice, limit break, good. Whatever, I'll let them deal with the ads. Dead boss. Just killed fucking Slimer from Ghostbusters. Alright, so it makes the kobolds fuck off. Alright, good. Oh, nice. It drops me right outside. Dalcarius, you've returned! You had us worried for a moment there. We heard an awful rumbling coming from deep underground and feared the worst. My men have concluded a preliminary slip of the White House and dismantled the remains of the bomb incubators. It would seem the beastmen have abandoned the tunnels directly beneath the tower. We've sent scouts in to pursue them, but the passages stretch farther than expected. Pardon the interruption. Yeah. While we was securing the interior, we found this old seafarer's knife lying on the floor. One of the lads noticed it got the sigil of Diamanda, Naldik, and Vameli's carved into the handle. I see. Well, if anyone could tell us who the knife belongs to, I suppose it would be the smith who crafted it. Yet I cannot seek her out until the tunnels have been secured. I have another favor to ask Dalcarius. Would you mind delivering the knife to Lieutenant Tuckrayat in Elport on my behalf? He's due to meet with the artisans of Naldik and Vameli shortly. Give me that knife! I expect he will be waiting at the docks. Do not concern yourself about the tunnels. We will find out where they lead, however far they go. On behalf of the Maelstrom, I thank you for your aid in reclaiming the lighthouse. Fortune go with you, till sea swallows all. I was gonna say, I don't even think raiding is that big of Final Fantasy culture. Maybe for like a tiny percentage of the people that play it, but I really don't think the vast majority of people bother. All right, next up is some all. Oh, someone doesn't qualify for some all. Who could it be? Let's see. While they're figuring that out, you gotta grab it. Okay, I'll let them go grab that. Let's go do this. To airport. Yeah, I think if you're someone that doesn't really care for, like, in-game raids, then Final Fantasy is honestly probably one of the best MMOs for you, because it's not really important to the core setting. Dacarius, I just heard the good news. By Lemlian's blessed light, you did it. You saved Pharaoh Sirius. Blunt whittle, a rusted knife similar to those most commonly carried by sailors to cut rope. The tool is featureless save for the name Diamanda crudely carved into its haft. Oh, what's this? I see. Well, I'll be sure to ask her about it. Ah, speak of the devil. Oi, what's that, Redcoat? How long do I have to rot in the tavern before your boys send them shiting kobold bastards packing, eh? Much more of this in me hammer and arm will be as soft as me lily white arse. A terrifying prospect and no mistake. Luckily, it ain't one we need to worry about, though, because we just taken Pharaoh Sirius back. And after walloping our mate, the walloping our mate here gave them kobolds will know to keep their grubby paws to themselves in the future, when you can get back to restoring the place in peace. Miss Diamanda, while the lads were searching the lighthouse, they found somewhat that might interest you. Does this here seafarer's widow look familiar? All too familiar, though it didn't look so worn when I last saw it. I made this for Simon before he set sail 3 years ago. It was my first piece as a full-fledged smith. Simon, as in Captain Simon from Maelstrom Command. Free to 70 is wild. It is. There's an obscene amount of shit you can do before you have to pay for anything. Like, you can do a ridiculous amount of content without paying anything. It's kind of bonkers. The same. I never meant for it to be a farewell present, but knowing he used it often and kept it with him to the last, well, it means a lot. Master Mimidoa, I think it's a sign. Why else would my first piece be returned to me but to show me how far I've come? Just seeing it makes me want to restore the lighthouse to its former glory even more, to make it into a place to honor the lost rather than a place to grieve for them. Aye, lass, that's the way. There's things all of us would sooner forget, but remembering them's what makes us stronger. Wouldn't you agree, Initiate? Speaking of remembering, you remind me of someone. Something about the eyes. Oh, aye, you're the spitting image of a lad that once helped me drive back an army of the undead. Right tough bugger he was, like you, only taller. Never did find out what happened to him, but looking at you, I'm guessing he settled down and sired himself an heir or two. Ah, it brings a tear to me eyes in you carrying on the family tradition. I'm much obliged to you, lad, much obliged. I think he's talking about me. I can't thank you enough for saving the lighthouse. If it hadn't been for you, all of our hard work would have been for naught. But I, for one, mean to make the most of this reprieve. I swear to you on my brother's memory. When we finish with Pharaoh Sirius, it will serve as more than just a guiding light to safe waters. It will lead the souls of those lost at sea back to familiar shores. Almost lost that there for a second. Some folks see Pharaoh Sirius as a cursed reminder of the calamity, while others see it as a monument to Limsa's golden age. But I'll bet it means more to them pair than everyone else in La Nocia put together. And someday they'll show the world how it looks to them, like a beacon of hope. I realize I still ain't thanked you properly for giving us I realize I still ain't thanked you properly for giving us an and with all this. Hardly needs saying, I suppose, but the Maelstrom couldn't have done it without you. You can leave the rest to us, though. We'll see that the Smiths don't get disturbed again. Until next time, then, Dalcarius. Thanks, boss. Alright. Now we're on to Summall. Okay. The only other dungeon we still have left to do is... yeah, Balance Unto All, which is Containment Bay P1T6. Which I think this is the... I can't remember if this is the second or the third of the Warring Triad we fought. I want to say it's the third of the Warring Triad we tangled with. So why don't we go... Oh, it's the second of the Warring Triad. Okay. Oh, we can go turn in and do it for Gilly. That'll take a hot minute because we have to go all the way up to the top. Okay, it's Sephiroth and then the last one. So it's Sephiroth, Sophia, and we don't know who the last of the Warring Triad is yet. Excuse me. Oh, RuneScape. I remember fond memories of playing that game quite a bit as a youngster and not understanding a goddamn thing I was doing. You can play it on your phone now, RuneScape Classic, which is wild to me. That was quick. Ooh, this is a pop. Summall's fun. Just a big dragon dungeon. The looks here, it's been turned into something far worse. Come on, you bat. Come on, you buggers. Bring it on! I think Alex is running that ridiculous build that lets them paralyze all the monsters. The Lighten Ward. It's like a Bulbasaur made out of rock. What you doing there, buddy? Ow! Oh, that's the White Mage Holy? Okay. I'm guessing those explode? Yep. Bad giant stone kitty, bad. Bring it down, bring it down! By the way, if y'all have any questions about anything while we're just chilling and hanging out, if there's anything y'all would like to chat about, because I mean dungeon stuff I can kind of turn my brain off for some of it, other than just like paying attention to my cooldowns. I'm excited to see you reach the level 70 at the end of Stormblood. Yeah. Come here, big bitch. That was dramatic, but all right. Time for a big fucking gator, man. The fever. Look how big and fat that tail is. That's a nice tail. Who's your favorite Scion so far? Yustola. Yustola McQueen. She's got the looks. She's got the outfit. She's got the mind. She's got the sass. She's the best, dude. Ow. This guy fucking hurts. It's always funny to me when a boss just decides that it just fucking hates somebody in the room. Down he goes. We moved into the heart. I think I'm gonna try going to my local gaming store for the first time. Not sure what to expect. I'm gonna meet some people in the Warhammer. Well, yeah, best of luck, man. I mean, most gaming clubs are pretty chill and awesome. Hopefully they'll have some Warhammer stuff going on. If not, you know, maybe you can find something you're into. Like, they'll probably play like MTG if nothing else. But if you know they're a Warhammer club, then I'm sure there'll be people playing. And they're always excited to have new people. If they're anything like my local club. New people showing up is like the most exciting thing.
Yes, yes. Good. I accept your offering for Motor Clan.
Scion of the Emperor donated 10 Australian dollars through Super Chat. So, Warhammer characters and sick jobs. I'd say Malice fits Reaper well, though in a less than optimal way. Snitch is obviously a ninja. Who else springs to mind?
You really think Malice would be a Reaper instead of a Dark Knight? I feel like Dark Knight is more about like channeling an inner darkness, like an inner like, ooh, spooky, evil, blah 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 blah. I feel like Malice is much more Dark Knight than Reaper. Though granted, I haven't gotten to play Reaper, so I don't know exactly what Reaper entails. See, what's another character? Krokar is one. Oh, is that fucking Goma from Wind Waker? I'm pretty sure that's Goma from Wind Waker. Oh, it's actually kind of small. Look, it's kind of cute. It's like a little cute monster thing. But I would, oh my god, that is a big AoE. I would definitely say that, I think Krokar would be Reaper, or, Dragoon. Lancer. Dragoon, yeah. Emmerich would be a Dragoon. Sigmar would have been a barbarian. Or whatever the big class of barbarian is. Oh, it has babies! Music's a bop. Jesus. Oh, he's doing environmental bullshit. Daddy's out of MP! Hey! Kaboom! That healer only made me kinda nervous the entire run. Alright. Next up is... Containment Bay P1T6. You wanted to tank for it? Well, too damn bad. Oh, unready? Okay, sure. Oh, right, because this is 8 players. Okay. Yeah, we'll let Alex swap. Vidofnir, I'm back. Thou hast accomplished all I asked of thee, warrior of warriors. Through thine exploits, the ancient thing that did skitter in the mountain's core hath been excised, and the fires of some all seethe angrily no more. It literally is just Goma from Wind Waker. Like, that's exactly what this boss is. It's even the exact same storyline with it, like, bothering dragons by stirring up the lava in the mountain. This holy place belongeth not only to the brood of Thracevalgir, but to all the dragons who roost within Dravania. It shall not be defiled while I yet draw breath. The Dragon Song War did take too many from us. Even those misguided kin who reveled in Needhog's vengeance deserve to find peace in the release of death. No matter the choices that set brood brother against brood brother, in the end we are all children of the Father of Dragons. Now that the war is over, I wish only that the souls of the fallen be spared the turmoil they suffered in life. Bye, Mom. Vidofnir cares so deeply for her kin.
Even those who mocked Tracevalger's brew for their decision to stay out of the war. I only wish that I could be so tolerant of my brothers and sisters when they disagree with my brilliant suggestions, Kupo. Such musings aside, I should thank you for helping to preserve the peace around here. Be sure to keep a sharper eye out for intruders creeping into Summer's caverns from now on. Oh, you get a song. Maybe a dev just really likes Goma. I almost feel like it's one of those things where it's probably like a Japanese myth of like some kind of scorpion or spider creature going into the volcano and like disturbing them or whatever. Okay. Next up is turning in... Oh! Look at that timing! Look at that timing! There we go. Alright, let's go fight a really big, pissed off beastie. Containment Bay P1G6. Oh no, she's hot!
I leave the goddess in your capable hands. Just watch out for her worshippers.
Oh dear. Oh, she's like really hot. Oh dear. Bro, what? Oh! Oh dear. Oh dear.
The unenlightened come.
Oh, voice acting, how I miss you. Dude, she is like fucking gorgeous. Oh, I fucked up. Well, she has a good soundtrack. Alright, I'm assuming her followers are gonna show up.
Know you the full weight of death.
Probably at like 50%. Oh! What you doing? What you doing, babes? Whoa, okay. She just about deleted 2 people.
To me, my faithful.
Ah, here they come. The Demiurgs.
Even in death, there is no release. Come forth, scales of revelation. I would know the weight of your souls.
Whoa! Okay.
Can you bring equilibrium? I shall tip back the balance.
What was... Okay.
The unenlightened come.
Okay. I don't even... Holy shit. The patch of ice is no-no. Okay. Okay, so don't touch the patch of ice in the center. Okay. She was just like, fuck you and all your friends you brought with you. Get owned. Oh my god.
Know you the full weight of death.
That was very funny.
To me, my faithful. Come forth, scales of revelation.
Alright, so watch out for the ice.
I would know the weight of your souls.
I don't see anything. Okay, that one okay.
Can you bring equilibrium? I shall tip back the balance.
Whoa! I was like, I have a bad feeling I'm about to get thrown off the edge of the stage.
Sin must be balanced with suffering.
You rude bitch. Oh, the music's changing.
Daughter, be the bearer of my wisdom.
Oh my god, she's a MILF. She has a daughter. She's about to do crazy shit. Fuck! Oh, dude, I can't tell what direction she's gonna tip stuff. They got it.
My revelations are lost.
Bro, she's got the inner boob, and she's got the side boob and the under boob showing off. Like she knows what she's about. How can you tell which way the stage is gonna tip? I couldn't figure that out. Okay, so you have to look outside the arena. The scale mechanic is based on how many lights go into a chalice. That ends up being the heavy side. Okay. Duly noted. I see the goddess is no more. Well done. Once Krylie and Unukalhai have rejoined us, we may safely depart. One thing yet puzzles me, however. How did Sophia's servants come to wake from their slumber? I believe we have the answer to that. We discovered the remains of a Guardian soldier in an adjacent sector of the containment facility. Just like the full venture too close to Sophia during the Empire's previous incursion, and was enthralled for his troubles. Another reminder, if anyone needed, as to the incalculable threat posed by these beings. The goddess would not have even been conscious when she claimed the man's will, and yet his mistake granted her the means to release her servants, and would have resulted in her own liberation had we not been on hand to intervene. I do wonder that the Icon's pawn was capable of so effectively manipulating the facility's containment systems. How came he by such rarefied knowledge? That is too easily explained. During our investigation, Krell discovered a subtle flaw in one of the mechanisms which held the goddess in check. A flaw which had plainly been added intentionally. Upon examining the facility's records of the period, we were able to piece together the story. It was a time towards the end of the Third Astral Era when the peoples of Mericidia faced extinction at the hands of the Allagan Empire. Sophia, a being of incomparable cunning, was said to have communicated certain plans to her servants through the medium of a trusted oracle. Following the oracle's instructions, they duly conspired with the rebel faction within Allag, who, we believe, agreed to tamper with the prison intended for Sophia, and then the goddess and her thralls chanced to be captured, though we suspect this had always been their plan. Indeed, the prison was situated at the very heart of Allag, and we think they intended to attack the city from within. They would merely have had to wait for the rebels to exploit the weakness in their confines. But the conspirators' dealings with the Mericidians were exposed before they could enact their plot, and all were summarily executed. It seems that the flaw itself remained undiscovered, however, and might have remained so until the end of days had it not been for the actions of the Archbishop, and subsequently the Guardians. I cannot help but wonder what might have come to pass if their scheme been successful. Perhaps the answer lies in the prophecy. Kryl hath the right of it. Its words may be deciphered thus. The cursed Paul speaketh of Sophia's prison, from which she was supposed to emerge at the agreed hour. The Worm King, meanwhile, can be none other than great Bahamut himself, then yet a prisoner, whom the goddess did intend to unleash upon Allag to set right the scales of justice. A foolhardy plan. Had it come to fruition, the two of them would have surely raised the realm. Naught would have been spared the devastation, the Mericidians' homeland included. Their home already stood on the brink of oblivion. Mayhap they wished for naught else but to purge the poison of Allag with primal fire. The tale teaches us that even the greatest of man's creations may yet be brought low by a single act of treachery. The Allagans were fools to place their trust in technological bondage. To shackle such beings is but to delay the inevitable. Not save their total destruction shall free us from their menace. Let us return now to the Rising Stones, and there consider the final step of this most needful task. The threat posed by this facility is far greater than you imagine, Urianger, and not one limited to the Icons themselves. Sophia's remaining servants must be put down. Blip, boop. Warning. Deactivating stasis chamber support systems will result in subject termination. Enter identification code to continue. Does he know the code? I'll take that as a yes. Identification code accepted. Subject terminated.
Alright, so Sophia's servants are dead. Yeah, he just murdered a shitload of people. Alright, let's go turn in this other quest real quick. Alright, Alex, thanks so much for joining us. Was fun. Always appreciate you taking the time to come hang out. You're back, Dakarius. Oh, do tell me you brought a new Nacelle. Node Nacelle? Newly constructed exosphere designed to contain an elegant system node. Why, it's a functioning Nacelle if I ever saw one. This'll do the trick, I'm sure of it. Auto-detecting newly installed nacelle. Nacelle detected. Reinitializing system settings. Initialization complete. Welcome to Azizla, Master Wedge, and Master Dakarius. Gilly, could it truly be you? Bloop. The very same, Master Wedge, and running at optimal efficiency, thanks to my first full-body overhaul in approximately 5 millennia. You really are too kind. Aw, now that's my sweet little girl. Why, after all you did for us, it was the least we could do. I've got a favor to ask you, Dakarius. This might sound silly, but I want you to take Gilly with you on your adventures. I want her to see that there's more to our world than this etheric waste she's called home for thousands of years. Yes, I'd say our little girl's done enough guidance. From this day forward, she's an accompaniment node. And with you, she's going to go where no node has gone before. Thanks, Wedge. Come in here and saddle me with a robot. We've got the accompaniment node minion. How does one join the link shell? I click on this. Oh gosh. I'm trying to remember. How do you invite? Is there an invite thing, or do they just have to find it themselves? Does anyone in chat know? I think you... Oh, fuck off. The cross, six plan. I know it's called the Red Host. Hold on, I can Google it. How to join cross-world link shell. You must be invited. Oh, I don't know if I can invite someone. Real quick. Dang it. So it's Zycon. Oh, no, here, I got it. I found it. Yay, I'm not dumb. All right. So next is balance unto all. To Mordona.
You should get emotes done, Dalkarius, for your server. I'd have to pay someone for that. And I do not have money right now. We need so many emotes of so many different things. Is Artemis, Warrior of Light? Archon Y'shtola mentioned that there was a matter she wished to discuss. Ooh, what does Y'shtola want? Well met, Dalkarius. You will forgive me if I seem curt, but I would settle an account with our young friend. While conducting a final sweep of Sophia's containment facility, we discovered that all of her remaining thralls had perished in their stasis chambers. This was your doing. Aye, it was. I chose to act upon the knowledge revealed within the tombstone we recovered. The true purpose of these prisons is far more horrifying than we first assumed. The Alligans were not simply observing the icons and siphoning away their energies. They were conducting experiments in preparation for a far more ambitious project. If you'll recall, both the Fiend and the Goddess were imprisoned within massive spherical structures. These spheres were prototypes which paved the way for the successful construction of an artificial celestial body. You speak of Dalamud. Aye, the Icon's cages are unmistakably of the same design as the Red Moon. To be plain, the research facility contains the seed of 3 calamities, which might feasibly be visited upon a chosen target. Eliminating one of them necessitated the destruction of the goddess's slumbering thralls. A distasteful task, befitting one such as the Warrior of Light. Thus did I resolve to perform the deed myself. You have made your case. It is apparent we were not in full possession of the facts. Nevertheless, your notion of what may or may not be expected of Dalkarius is presumptuous in the extreme. When the Warrior of Light chose to join the Scions, he did so in the knowledge that he would be required to face and destroy not only the primals, but also their fanatical servants. That which you term a distasteful task is an essential part of our calling, a burden which every Scion is sworn to shoulder. I have killed a lot of people. Like, I've killed a lot of people. I see. 'Twould seem I misjudged the depth of your resolve. No matter. Assuming I have made myself understood, we need not speak of it again. There is, however, one other subject which merits discussion. You determined that Sophia's thralls were awoken by a Garlean soldier who had somehow gained access to the containment area, did you not? If that is the case, it seems highly doubtful that the interloper wandered into such a dangerous part of the facility by chance. Dissidents within the Empire claim that the 6th Legion is rife with agents under orders to thwart the Legatus's mission by any means necessary. Lest you imagine that we have allies in Garlemald, I should clarify that their motive is wholly uncharitable. Regula von Hydrus rose to the top of the Garlean military on merit alone, and is fiercely loyal to the Emperor for recognizing his efforts. His compeers, by contrast, rose through favor of the established order, and would accordingly do anything to see him fail. That they would be so reckless! We truly believe the actions of these agents contributed to the recent crisis. Aye, and they pose no less a risk to the realm than those loyal to the Emperor. Plainly, we must needs continue to do all in our power to prevent the technologies of Alug from falling into the hands of man. On that point, at least, we have ever been in complete agreement. That poor Queek video must be over a year plus. Yes. 1 year. Totally just 1 year and not like 5. just 1. Oh god, there's 2. Oh, this is the hard one. I would like you to have this, Warrior of Light. It is an Allegan tombstone similar to the one we recovered after your victory over Sephiroth. The records contained within describe the goddess at the height of her power and will enable Azislah's reality augmentation technologies to create an idealized simulacrum of Sophia against whom to test your skills. From what I have been able to determine, this formed part of a greater trial intended to test Alleg's elite warriors. Quite how it will compare to the challenge presented by the Fiend's tombstone, I cannot say. I suppose there is only one way to be certain. Visit the verification node on Azislah and witness firsthand what awaited the champions of Eld.
The final icon.
Greetings, warrior of light. But one pillar of the warring triad remains. Zurvan, the icon known as the Demon. According to the histories I have recovered, this monstrous being was worshipped by a race of Mericidian beastmen. These creatures are the key to maintaining Zurvan's manifestation, and we can be sure that many such thralls will be imprisoned somewhere within the research facility. It is imperative that we determine their exact location as swiftly as possible. We dare not risk repeating the near disaster we suffered at the hands of Sophia's servants. As such, your fellow Scions have already begun an exhaustive search, but there are several sectors which only you, Kryl, and I can enter without fear of enthrallment. Let us make our way to Azislah forthwith and aid the investigations.
The last pillar to fall.
How am I doing on Allegan tombstones? Almost 600? Pretty good. Should be able to get to about 700 after this boss. We can go purchase some more goodies. Alright, we're gonna dip on down here. Activating verification systems. Enlistment program request acknowledged. Awaiting tombstone data. Tombstone of Divinity. Though it appears to be not more than a simple stone, Unul Kalhai exists. It contains reams of invaluable information gathered by the Lost Allegan Empire and the subject of the goddess Sophia. Data processed. Advisory. Warning Triad Sophia. Threat level extreme. Successful applicants will progress to elite squad induction. Families of unsuccessful applicants will receive twice standard death benefits. Before initiating this program, elite squad applicants must agree to extensive physical modification. Data corrupted. Unable to verify input. Applicant agreement accepted. Bloop. Activating reality augmentation. Initiating enlistment program. The Empire thanks you for your service. Post-mortem data will be used to improve the survival rates of subsequent applicants. Your sacrifice is appreciated. You gonna die is basically all I heard there. No. Dakarius, it's good we caught you. The facility has been swarmed by Imperial troops. By those standards, did we judge the soldiers of the Six? I, once more doth Regular von Hydrus stretch forth his hand to see the forbidden fruits of Alleg, and once more have our meticulous wards been swept aside like so many cobwebs. Your meddlesome wards were destroyed from within by the pulsating energies of an icon. He's here! Nay, put up your weapons and listen. The followers of Zervan have awakened, and they toil to rouse their master. The demon's worshippers yet slumbered when we confronted Sophia. Could the tempering of her thralls have been more widespread than we thought? They share a common enemy. 'Tis not unthinkable they would seek to free all those the Alligans had imprisoned. Yes, the caged doors are open. And whilst you stand here quibbling over who picked the locks, my soldiers are inside the facility, risking their lives and their sanity. They have volunteered to face death to prevent Zervan's servants from waking him in the fullness of his power. Now, assuming you have at last understood the gravity of the situation, it is time I rejoined them. But you cannot hope to succeed. The icon will enslave the minds of any who draw near. Thus, did I seek out those with the power to resist his influence. Aid us, and mayhap my men will not perish in vain. You propose an alliance. I have delved into the depths of this place and found its technology wanting. These mechanisms have failed to hold their prisoners, and such broken artifacts are unfit to bring before the Emperor. Twice have you bested me in combat. Will you now lend me that strength and stand against our mutual foe? 'Twas in opposing your reckless schemes that Ysael was lost to us. You expect us to simply forgive and forget all that has come before. I expect you to put aside your emotions and use your better judgment. But, of course, I am dealing with savages. I will not stand here and justify the death of the Ice Maiden. We pursued our ideals, and you pursued yours. Such was the result, and mayhap you might consider another point. In these endless clashes, we have all lost comrades dear to us. Yet I choose to put aside past grievances to beg your champion's aid, to appeal to your reason. Thou art willing to build a bridge of common purpose upon such tremulous foundations. I too am hesitant to accept this arrangement, Archon Y'shtola, but the offer has been made to the Warrior of Light. It is his involvement which shall ultimately sway its outcome. I shall abide by Dalcarius' decision. Yeah, I feel like a guy called the Demon probably needs to be shut down. Zervan must be stopped. Then for better or worse, we shall fight at your side. Mistress Kryl and I are also resistant to primal influences. We shall aid you where we can. Then let us be on our way. I mean, if he betrays me, I'll just beat his ass again. You know, what's he gonna do? Our companions have already passed through the research facility. We should not lag behind. Yeah, I gotta get to him. I gotta get to the boss fight. Fighting alongside Van Hydrus. Oh, there he is. Wow, okay, that was quick. The demon stirs. Oh, dude, he's got the centaur lizard dudes. Like a suckling babe, he feedeth upon the ether siphoned onto him by his thralls. We must needs deprive him of this sustenance. Then we destroy those devices. Dude, his servants look so fucking sick. These guys are awesome. Why can't I play as one of these? They're so cool looking. Hold! Witness your soldiers. Oh, they're fighting amongst themselves. They have turned against one another. Even half awake, Zervan corrupts and converts those who enter his aura. Oh, okay, he's awake. Man, he's so lame looking considering that his servants are like badass reptilian centauroids. And he's just some guy wearing armor. The three of us then, Docarius, Uno Kalhai, we rush in together and each disable a generator. We cannot give them the chance to rally a defense. Alright. There are 4 mechanisms by my count. If I can avoid the icon's miasma, my blade will make short work of the last one. We, all of us, have pledged our lives to keep your lives. I would rather you tend to my fallen. Some may yet survive with their minds intact. I feel like Van Hydra's just gonna fucking die, dude. I know not if my strength will be enough. I am no champion. The battlefield is no place for uncertainty, boy. Fate has blessed you with a unique talent and an occasion to use it. Do not waste such a gift. We strike! Oh, what? It just makes them explode. Una Kalhai, the last generator! Gods! Zervan is... Oh! Una Kalhai! Ah! Oh, fuck! Move! Damn, dude. So falls Van Hydrus. He slumbers once more. You saved me. Why? I told you, boy. Yours is a gift too precious to waste. A gift the Emperor may one day have need of in his war upon these untamable icons. Emperor Varus, he raised me up from the ranks, stood against my detractors. I gladly give my life in his service. You must finish this. Slay these leeches upon our star. Kill them all. Kill Zervan. Man. It's like the one cool Garlean legatus we've met. We must needs withdraw and prepare our assault. At the cost of his very life, the legatus hath prized open for us a window of opportunity. Man, he saved Uno Kalhai's ass. These wounded soldiers will live, but further battle is beyond them. I've counseled them to remain here until their compatriots arrive to bear them home. 'Tis not often that I dare approach so closely to entities such as Zervan. How sharply I am reminded of the burden we place upon those whom are blessed with the echo. I thought Regula a cold and ruthless man. They showed surprising compassion for his soldiers. It also seems he also placed great trust in his emperor. If Regula could be convinced that the technology for containing primals is fatally flawed, then mayhap Varus could be convinced as well. Forgive me if I show little gratitude for my rescue. They said that the Emperor and Van Hydrus were childhood friends. Foul fortune that we should be the ones to bring news of his death. The research facility crawls with Zervan's faithful, and they will not cease in their efforts to rouse him. If you will honor the Legatus' sacrifice, then you must slaughter those fiends to the last. Regula Van Hydrus. Went out like a badass, dude. Great character, he was fun. He didn't betray us or anything, like he was being completely honest. He's dead. Had I only been stronger. Enough of that. There will be time for regrets after we've rid the world of Zervan. Kryl has the right of it. The demon has fallen back into a torpor for now. We must act swiftly if Regula's death is to have meaning. The survivors speak of an army of thralls loose in the facility. We must assume that these followers continue their efforts to awaken the Icon. Let us then concentrate upon diverting them from their task. Mistress Kryl and Master Unokalhai, prithee secure the controls for Zervan's shackles and limit the restoration of his might. Archon Y'shtola and I shall forge ahead and strike down those thralls as would seek to harry you. Warrior of Light, thine is, as ever, the most perilous duty. Gather to thee thy trusted companions, and extinguish from this realm the fires of the demon himself. Containment Bay Z1T9, now accessible. The Legatus spoke truly. The thick of battle is no place to question oneself. I will accept any forthcoming duty with certitude, or not at all. The last pillar of the Warring Triad is set to fall. See this to the end, Dalcarius. Alright. And we've got 2 tanks. Nice. Last pillar to fall. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Do you think CA will make race packs later down the line when Old World gets to certain places and races? It's very possible. It is very possible. It's not guaranteed. I can tell you that right now, GW has a bit of a... How do I say this? GW has a bit of an unfortunate obsession at the moment with... with keeping things separate. I'm trying to remember who the fuck sells the shit I need. Is it the lady up here? Might be. No, that's luminous crystals. Does anyone remember who I'm supposed to talk to? You know what? I should just look it up. Mordona. It's from
Auriana. Who's in here somewhere? Okay. I just gotta find her. Oh, I can look. Nope, it doesn't have their names. Okay. It's Christiana. Rowena, Edelina, Azina. What about Uz? Nope, none of you. She's at 22.7 and 6.6. 6.6. She's over here. Oh, it is this chick. Okay. I was right earlier. I just didn't check the right stuff. Ah, here it is. Okay, so I need one unidentifiable shell. I need... I can't quite afford it. Because I need... I'll just go and grab it. Okay, so we need 600 more Allegan tomestones. But we're getting there. So if they keep things separate, that means Old World Total War might be the second way to get those races. Okay, well, okay, so here's the situation, right? The current situation is that the Old World is proving to be a very popular game. It's proving to be a very popular game that is selling very well. What that means is that it is something that Games Workshop believes or knows is proving to be reasonably popular, and they want to make money off of it. Now the problem comes from in that if Creative Assembly wants to use stuff from the Old World, they are technically very, very technically, they are wanting to use material from a separate intellectual property, or an IP, right? Normally, that's not a big deal. So, like, a good example for Total War Warhammer is that the Vampire Coast is mostly based on Dreadfleet, which Dreadfleet is a separate IP from Warhammer Fantasy. It's its own contained thing, right? But because Dreadfleet isn't really that popular because they don't sell it anymore, it's basically a completely dead IP. GW was willing to allow Creative Assembly to use it without like needing anything from them, really. CA just went, hey, can we use Dreadfleet? And GW went, sure. The same thing happened with Mordheim, where when Creative Assembly did the Kislev expansion, they pulled a bunch of material, or the Shadows of Change expansion, they pulled a decent amount of material from the Mordheim tabletop game, which is a separate IP from Warhammer Fantasy Tabletop. So, but once again, it's a dead game that Games Workshop can't make any money off of, or it can't make a lot of money off of. So they just said, sure. Now, this is where the Old World becomes a problem, because the Old World is making bank. Like, the Old World is doing very, very well. It is doing extremely well. So when Creative Assembly comes to Games Workshop and they say, hey guys, can we use stuff from the Old World in Warhammer Fantasy? Games Workshop says no, because that's a separate IP. So if you want to use Old World stuff in Total War Warhammer, you have to pay us for a license
to use Warhammer Fantasy the Old World, or just Warhammer the Old World, technically. And CAE, from their perspective, would rightfully say, that's stupid, that's dumb, we're not gonna, like, why should we, you know, have to pay you a very significant fee to use this when all this stuff should just exist in the universe? And GW basically comes up with kind of a bullshit excuse of why they're trying to... GW, so basically it boils down to this. This is most likely what is happening, is that GW wants to be paid a very significant amount of money before they let anybody use Old World in video games, because they think it's gonna be popular. And so they will use lore arguments to try and justify why the Old World is a different IP and why it should be treated as something completely different. So, for instance, Games Workshop might turn and say, oh, well, this isn't Warhammer Fantasy, this is Old World, because everything that happens in Old World happens 200 years before, and Total War Warhammer is based on the era of Karl Franz, so like right before the end times. So because of that, they're not allowed to use that material unless they pay us a lot of money. Now, I don't think that's a good reason, and I'm gonna prove it with a set of counter arguments. But I don't really want to get like super into it, because I'd like to have it as a nice organized presentation instead of just me rambling. But that's what it essentially boils down to. Most likely, because from a completely normal human being fan point of view, it is beyond absurd that Old World is not allowed in Total War Warhammer, because there is no functional difference. There just isn't. Now, I would say there are certain characters that would not make sense in Total War Warhammer, because they are very, very focused within the Old World, and we don't know their full stories yet, and they're probably going to be dead, and they're not super relevant to what's going on in Warhammer Fantasy. And I think that's a fair argument. So like a good example would be like the new High Elf character, whose name I cannot remember all of a sudden. She would, I don't think she would be a good fit for Total War Warhammer, because she is from a very specific story that's being told within the Old World, and we don't know where that story is going, and she most likely is going to die by the end of the story. And she's a very niche character. But I don't think it's a reasonable argument for something like the Necrolith Bone Dragon, right? So the Necrolith Bone Dragon is basically the Tomb Kings have always had this. These were mighty dragons that are Old World dragons that are native to the regions of Nehekara and the Badlands that used to be alive back then. They lived in Nehekara, and they were native to the Nehekaran region. And some of them were dominated by really powerful Lich Priests or Tomb Kings. And after, like, dominating them and, like, yada yada yada, they served them as loyal mounts. And when the Tomb King or the Lich High Priest in question died, they were entombed with their Necrolith Bone Dragons that were their mounts. So now that they have been resurrected, just like all of the other Tomb King characters had mounts that were buried with them and then returned with them, the Necrolith Bone Dragons have returned with their masters. Which means that in the time of Karl Franz, so in the era of Karl Franz when Total War Warhammer is happening, Necrolith Bone Dragons would still be around. Like, they would still 100% undeniably, beyond a shadow of a doubt, they would still exist. The lore of trolls, right? So the lore of the Giant River Troll Hags which is an innate lore that only the trolls know, and technically a character that's exclusive to the old world. But it's a lore that's almost exclusively only known by trolls, and gives them access to like new spells and stuff. Those things have all been like, that is something that realistically would still exist in the era of Karl Franz, because the era of Karl Franz still has giant river troll hags. We know this because they're playable in Total War Warhammer. So if the giant river troll hags, which are the only thing in the setting except for one special character who can use this lore, are still around, then very obviously the giant river troll hags in Total War Warhammer should be allowed to use the lore of trolls, right? So that's another good example. A third example would be Knights of the Realm on foot. So the new Bretonnia stuff, we have 99% of what Bretonnia has in the old world. Well, probably technically less than that because there's just not that much. But the vast majority of what Bretonnia has access to in the old world, we already have access to in Total War Warhammer. One of the few exceptions is the new Knights of the Realm on foot. Now, very realistically, this would still be a thing in the era of Karl Franz, because the lore explains that it wasn't some kind of like exclusive training regimen during the old world. It was just that, hey, sometimes knights' horses die, and when their horses die, they have to fight on foot. And they get into battlefields where they're forced to fight, all squatted up. Instead of being on horseback, or they take like the vow of humility, and they fight alongside the peasants and stuff. So is there anything about that could not, that wouldn't be around in the era of Karl Franz? And the answer is no, that would definitely still be a thing in the era of Karl Franz. So those three things, for instance, should, without a shadow of a doubt, be allowed to be in Total War Warhammer. But because of the current situation, they are not. Because GW is frankly being a little greedy, in my opinion. I guess I'll just do this quest since we're just waiting. Greetings, Dalkaius. What is it you have there? I have Domen Unguent. Containing a variety of ground herbs and natural oils, a recipe for this traditional medicine has been passed down for generations. Unguent? I was not aware the general required such stuff. And one of our Domen friends made this for him, did she? Very well. I shall be sure to pass it on. Actually, wait here. We have just this moment concluded a meeting. I expect he would be glad to speak with you before returning to the palace. So, Commander Swift tells me you came all this way to deliver Unguent. Daily, she says. Ha! Well, mayhap it is best to be prudent. The gods alone know why you agreed to deliver it for her, though. Unless you mean to favor me with that rematch I requested. Ha 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 ha. I jest, lad. You are on a journey of reflection, are you not? Oh, that's right. So this is the going through all the things we did storyline. Aye, Merlvib said as much. Now you want to relive the moment you pulled me from the pit Ilberd left me to rot in. It shames me to think of it, but I was so blind to his hatred. Lodorito tells me it was not always so. That Ilberd admitted to him he once believed I would return to Alamigo at the head of an army. But years passed, and I did nothing. For all my accomplishments, for all my wealth, power, and influence, I did naught to better the plight of my people. Not for lack of trying, but Ilberd didn't know. He thought the bull of Alamigo had grown fat and complacent, and my story set a bad example for our countrymen. Forget your homeland and chase the olden dream. A fine, impossible dream which gave men the strength to endure their hardships and try to make new lives for themselves here. So the dream had to die. He would kill me, stir up the disillusioned, arm them at the monetarist expense, and then... Forgive me. The Scions paid the price of my failings. The gods know I've no shortage of debts to repay, of vows to keep and duties to discharge. But mark me well, lad, there will be a reckoning. Mayhap not today, mayhap not tomorrow, but a reckoning there will be. A refugee of a fallen nation, he had risen from the depths of poverty to claim a seat on the Syndicate. Yet for all his great deeds, one was left undone, and like sand through an hourglass, the years slipped away, taking with them an old friend's hope. Oh, you play Triple Triad? Bring it on, bitch. I should have checked better if there were special rules. Chaos? I don't remember what Chaos does. Ooh. Ew. That's a very gross opening, good sir. Oh, interesting. It's forcing me to play a certain card. That feels like a waste. Do that. Almost had that. Nice. Boo! Ooh, I don't like this.
You bring a token trinket to give to Throt. Yes, yes. Good, good. I accept your offering for Molder Clan.
Son of a bitch.
Scion of the Emperor.
Just let me win!
$7 Australian dollars and 99
I need to recheck my cards because I've got some new cards.
Oh right, there's still the Scholastic quest line to finish before the end of HW as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff still to do. Oh, you bitch. Oh, you got me good with that. Alright, hold on. I need to change up my deck. I gotta fucking find it. So it's 8-5. We're gonna have 1 5. We're gonna have 2 4s. Okay, so this is too many 4s. Really wish I had a 5. But I don't.
Nice. All right. I think I got a new card for that too. Oh, did I not? Oh, I guess not. Well, here I thought I was gonna get something real good. That's fine. Still good to do those every once in a while. God, this is taking a really long time. I guess we'll just keep doing Oaths We Swear until it procs. It is getting late. Yeah. If we're not able to get it to proc soon, we might have to just call it a night. But we can at least advance some side quest stuff while we're fucking around. By the Fury, is that you, Master Odracia? Forgive me, but what reason could you possibly have for returning to this godforsaken place? Mayhap it is fate which brings you here on this day of introspection and reflection. We are come to Gorgonon Mills to accept the surrender of a half-dozen heretics who once fought for the Lady Iceheart. If you are intending to visit the cellars, I would ask you do nothing to unsettle them. Hopefully y'all don't execute heretics anymore, seeing as the whole Dragon Sword War thing is an end. Wait, I know you. You were at the amphitheater with the Dragon Slayer. I suppose we owe you an apology. When you came to us seeking to parley, we were sure it was a scheme to lure out Our Lady. We were sure about a lot of things. When she first shared her revelation, when she told us that she was not Saint Shiva reborn, we assumed it was a test. But have we not prayed for salvation? Has she not descended to deliver us from evil? She replied that our prayers were but fuel for a fever dream, a construct born of desperation and denial. She was no savior, she said. But when we marched upon Ishgard regardless, she pulled us from the brink of oblivion and implored us to find another way. And here we are, ready to lay down our arms at last. It's time. She considered you a friend. If things been different, mayhap we could have been friends too. Farewell. Yay, it's finally ready! Forsaken by gods and men, they found salvation in revelation. They would take up arms against their own kind to set ancient wrongs right, cut to the Ishgard's fistering heart, and the war would be over. This they knew, believed with all their being until the Savior told them their efforts would be for naught. Let's go! The last of the Warring Triad. Good. I'm glad we'll get to finish this tonight.
There's been enough sacrifice for one day. We must take the chance we've been given and defeat Zervan now.
Zalvin the Demon. That do be a big halberd. Mine age of slumber is at an end. What the absolute fuck? Oh, okay. Ah, squish. Oh, okay. He's got
Good and evil, the war eternal.
All right, so he's just broken free.
My doubt is fled.
I still think his creatures have a better design than he does. This design isn't awful, though. Demonic Infinity? I feel like that's not a weathered pattern, but okay, game. By sorrow's chill doth all become ice.
I shall rise above all. Bear witness to my will.
Oh, he's got babies. Dude, his minions are probably the coolest looking creatures in the game. Like, they look so fucking awesome. Oh, listen to that French horn, dude. That horn is killing it. I'm taking a lot of damage, guys. Frozen in time, mine's armor of flame, unto eternity's end, my righteous reign.
Bow to mine infallible judgment.
Did that bitch just attack me through the fourth wall? By what manners mortals to withstand such punishment?
Suffer in endless torment.
Graven in flesh, the brand is whole. Fun boss. He literally just looked at that DPS and he's like, it'd be a shame if 90% of your health bar just ceased to exist. What is on me? Die!
Suffer in endless torment. If such is my fate.
Woohoo! Yeah, please. Do not Alexander me again, please. Hooray! So falls the last of the Warring Triad. Oh wow, everyone pieced out super fast. Alright, that is the end of the Warring Triad boss fights. Well, unless we decide to do the ultimate ones. But we'll do that later. Incredible as always, Dalkarius. Hopefully that will be the last our world sees of the likes of Zervan. Every one of his thralls has been slain as far as we could determine. Our victory over the Warring Triad is complete. No, I liked his thralls. They were super cool looking. An impossible feat had we not been blessed with your cooperation. Let us not forget the efforts of regular Van Hydrus and his men. Without their noble sacrifice, the demon would have awoken far sooner and possessed of far more formidable energies. The bodies of the fallen now accompany the survivors on the return journey to Garlemald. It is known that the Imperials recognize no god, yet they would honor the dead in their own fashion. And when next we meet, our fleeting alliance will surely be forgotten. 'Twas an interesting exchange, nonetheless. They spoke of their present ruler as a man who values self-sufficiency. Varys befriended Regula in their youth, it seems, was highly impressed by his martial prowess. It is common knowledge that Regula's rise to Legatus was in great part advocated by the Emperor himself. Regula freely admitted his shortcomings when it came to politics, and it was Varys's unconditional support that served to win his undying fealty. One does not expect such tales of comradeship to lurk beneath the Emperor's iron exterior. Contrary to all expectations, the man did die a hero. Witnessing the way you all leapt into danger without hesitation, it would seem I am surrounded by heroes. And yet, my own actions were aught but heroic. I have not the qualities nor the character to stand at the warrior of light's side. What a curious thing to say! Are you truly concerned that you do not measure up to some arbitrary requirement? If you knew the path I walked to reach this place, then you would understand why I doubt myself so. Return with me to the Rising Stones, and I shall tell you of it. He's about to drop the lore! Last pillar to fall. Prithee, return to the Rising Stone. All right, let's learn this little twink's history. That Chronicles medieval game from Summer Games Fest looks interesting. Yeah, that one looked pretty cool. The Game of Thrones strategy game looked pretty decent. I didn't see like a ton of stuff that caught my interest, but there was a couple of things. A lot of horror games. With your victory over Zervan, the Warring Triad is finally defeated. I am afraid, however, mine own efforts have been far more hindrance than help, and you and your fellow Scions deserve to hear the reasons behind my actions. The doors. I promise to tell you of my journey, of who I am, of where I am from. The truth is, I am not of this world. I was born of a different star,
A child whose power of the echo was too feeble to save his dying world. A child who, unlike you, never became a warrior of light. When all I knew stood on the brink of destruction, I was yet half grown. Had I been born but a handful of years earlier, history may have written a different tale. The seeds of other heroes that had yet to fully sprout may not have withered and perished. The star I failed to save is known to you now as the Void. And his home just got obliterated, huh? Though Darkarius knew not that I spoke of my homeland, I have explained to him before the cause of its ruin. A magic was devised to contain a defeated primal's might within a stone known as Arasite, and the energies which bled from this imperfect vessel gradually corrupted the champions who wielded it. These heroes became slaves to an insatiable hunger for ether, eventually transforming into hideous fiends, and none who clung to the faint traces of light were strong enough to oppose them. The demons next turned upon each other in a war which drained the land's ether in ever greater amounts, until one day the star was suddenly swallowed in a flood of darkness, an entire world unmade in an instant. The void scent you encounter here in this realm are the twisted remnants of once mortal beings who gnaw on what motes of light force remain. That is a super fucked explanation for what void scent are. Him. And as I lay dying, beaten and broken in my failed last stand, 'twas my present master who found my tormented spirit, and bore me away to the rift betwixt worlds. 'Twas he who first introduced me to Urianger. At my mentor's feet did I learn of the nature of reality, the existence of mirrored worlds and the eternal struggle between dark and light. Sudden and overwhelming superiority for either side will shatter the balance, and the world in question will be returned to the void by a calamity beyond imagining. Interesting. As the self-appointed custodian of this balance, my master warned me that the source, the first of all worlds, slips perilously close to oblivion. In what spirit did this master proffer such a warning? A benevolent gesture, or a veiled threat? To these questions and more do I mean to coax forth answers. Yet no matter his intention, that Heidelin doth teeter on a knife's edge is an undeniable truth. Knowing this, what choice was given to you to make? I chose to join my master, and act as his instrument on this star. The tragedy that befell my home cannot be repeated. I will see this world saved. And yet, I hesitated at the most crucial of moments. What right have I to stand alongside a true warrior of light? I kind of miss his black robe outfit. In thine own words thou wert called before thy time, and I offer that thou dwellest overmuch on the question of what maketh the hero. The search for the answer leaveth thee paralyzed by doubt. Heed me, Master Unukalhai. Thou needest not believe thyself a hero to perform great deeds. 'Tis the deed itself which earneth thee the hero's mantle. Aye, the ideas you hold can be less important than having to faith the act upon them. Regular's loyalty to the Emperor guided his actions until the last, and though we did not see eye to eye on many things, his final deeds can be called not less than heroic. Precisely. Oh, personally, I find that faith in my companions allows me to act unhindered by uncertainty. Cryo is a wise little thing. I know that should I ever falter, Darkarius and the others will be there to support me, or steer me back onto the right path if needed. I see. In the days leading up to my world's destruction, I was entirely alone. I never knew what it was to have such comrades. I cannot imagine the loneliness you must have felt. But look around you now, Unokalhai. You're not alone anymore. Welcome to the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. Yay! New Scion member! It's been a hot minute since we had one of those. I will fulfill my purpose to save this world, and when I stumble, I shall be glad to have your hands there to steady me. My apologies. This is difficult for me. For so long have I spoken from behind a mask. We should all feel comfortable speaking without such concealments, says the man wearing goggles. Yeah, I was gonna say, I should hope you appreciate the irony of that statement, Urianje. This is like the man never takes them off. I hope we get to see more of Unokalhai in the future. Oh, he's got one more quest. Oh, yeah, the last big one. Whilst we were examining the controls for Zervan shackles, I found a tombstone that might be of interest to you, Dalcarius. Would you like to take a look? The information contained within this device appears to have been used to generate a simulated battle of grueling difficulty. Challengers would be pit against a simulacrum of Zervan, the power of which has been enhanced to the icon's highest conceivable magnitude. It is described as the final trial for the most elite of Alug's warriors, intended to distinguish the truly exceptional among them. I have witnessed no champion more exceptional than the Warrior of Light. Are you not curious to see just how powerful Zervan may have been? I urge you to visit the verification node and undertake this ultimate test of the Alugan elite. Alright, cool. We can go activate that. But hey, we got all our dungeons done. How about that? All that stuff I did, and I got one fucking sticker. Sign of the Emperor, thank you for the... He does look like young Xehanort. That's actually very funny. No, I don't think I'm going to do any more main story quests tonight. I think we're at a pretty happy stopping point. I think we'll activate this and we'll call it a night. Because it's 2:30 a.m. almost. And I still need to brush my teeth and do all that and get to bed. And get at least some sleep. Violet Timber, thank you for the follow if you're still here. I'm really bad about seeing follows. But the good news is we're completely done with dungeons. The only reason we'll run dungeons going forward, or at least for a little while, is just to work on like Wondrous Tales and get tombstones, but... it's not this one. Alright, that's Big Mommy. It's this guy. No? It should be. I guess they're all over here. Yeah, we'll probably play more tomorrow night. Well, tomorrow's Saturday. I have other things going on as well, so I don't... We'll see. It's also a friend of mine's birthday, so I've got like a couple things I gotta do. The Alugan Tombstone of Iconology. Data process. Adversary, Warring Triad, Zervan. Threat level extreme. This is the final qualifying test for surviving Elite Squad enlistees. Participation is only permitted to candidates who agree to unrestricted biopsy procedures following the trial. Specifically, enlistees who successfully complete the program will be certified as genetically superior and must submit to cell harvesting for subsequent cloning initiatives. Elimination trial survival rates are currently calculated at 1.9%. 1.9. Whoop. Activating reality augmentation. Initiating elimination trial. The Empire thanks you for your service. Postmortem data will be used to improve the survival rates of subsequent candidates. The sacrifice is appreciated. And with that, the Warring Triad is finished! We did it! The Warring Triad is completely done. How about that? Plus, we finished all of the additional optional dungeons that we had. So we've done all of the hard mode dungeons and other stuff. I almost have enough elegant tomestones to pick up more goodies. Okay. Good stuff. Okay, so yeah, tomorrow, I will say, I've been thinking, I will throw this out real quick, because if you're still here at this point in the stream, then you are someone that is very committed to the Final Fantasy streams, if you're still here at this point. I've been thinking, and I think it is... Who the fuck is this?
You bring a token trinket to give to Throt. Yes, yes.
What?
Good, good. I accept your offering for Molder Clan.
Scion of the Emperor donated 20 Australian dollars through Super Chat. Whatever you decide to visit, I'm sure I can find.
No, you did that earlier, Stream Alerts. I don't know why you're repeating that. That's weird. Odd. But yeah, that was earlier, so how peculiar. Anyway, so here's what I'm thinking. I love this game. I enjoy playing this game, but it has become very apparent to me that the YouTube channel just doesn't really care for Final Fantasy. It just doesn't. So I think what we kind of need to do is we need to move Final Fantasy streams onto the second channel. But I want to do it where there's a clear break between when we finish it with the main YouTube series and when we start it with the secondary one. Because, well, yeah. Until something changes. Like, we might come to a point one day in the future where maybe when, like, the new expansion's coming out, and hype starts going back up for the game, then we can move it back to the main channel. But for right now, Final Fantasy is just, it's very quiet, which is, I'm enjoying it and I intend to keep playing it. And I want to continue dual streaming it so that people can watch on YouTube or Twitch. So my current plan, this might change, but my current plan is that we will continue playing it on this channel until we reach the first Stormblood stream. So once we have completed all of the post content, once we've leveled up our White Mage enough that we're maining White Mage, and we're doing all that, when we like begin Stormblood, that is when I'm currently planning to switch us to the secondary channel, because I suspect that the Final Fantasy streams, as much as I'm loath to admit it, are hurting the main channel, because people just don't watch them, and I think it's causing YouTube to look at my streams and be like, oh, well, nobody likes watching this, so I'm just not going to recommend this guy to anybody. So yeah, Now, once again, it could be that it picks up at some point. Maybe it'll pick up one day with when the new expansion gets announced, or maybe we'll befriend some other content creator at some point, or content creators, and they'll want to play online together, and that causes like more people to watch and yada yada yada. You know how it goes. So if that ever happens, we'll switch back to the main channel, especially because watching the playlist will be the exact same. So like you won't have to go to the other channel to watch like the last episode of Heaven's Word to the first episode of Stormblood. Like if you're watching the playlist, it'll be a completely smooth, seamless transition because I can add to the playlist from different channels. So you don't have to worry about that. But anyway, I think we've still got a good number of sessions more to go because we still got to do Hildebrand. We still got to finish a couple of different side storylines because we've got to finish the Churning, the Bitter is the Night, Oaths We Swear. We will be finishing Kettle to the Metal tomorrow, or actually no, we won't finish it tomorrow because I'll only get dailies for my allied seals, which is annoying, but that's fine. And then the benefits of consultation, which I don't know what the reward is for this and why we're doing it, but we'll figure it out. No, it'll be on Twitch. Yeah, Twitch is normal. If you're watching on Twitch, literally nothing will change. Yeah, if you're watching on Twitch, nothing will change at all in the slightest. Anyway, thank you all for joining. I hope you had a lovely time. But it is bedtime. It is past 2:30 in the morning, and I do need to get some sleep. So I'm going to check very briefly. I do not have any friends online on YouTube, so we're not going to bother with the YouTube raid. But I do have some friends that are online on Twitch. So we can do a Twitch raid. Cool stuff. So actually, there's 200 people watching live on YouTube right now. Oh, did we get raided by Evantris? Maybe? I mean, 200 people's not bad. That's more than I thought. I don't know. I'll have to think about it. I'll think about it. I'll think about it. Okay, so YouTube, why don't we go hang out with, fuck it, let's go hang out with Cleo. I hope you all have a lovely night. Okay, so I don't like listening to myself talk shop. Cool. Talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
You